How's it going, everybody? Welcome to Pillow Talk with Paul Goneau. My guest today is artist, storyteller, musician, and comedian Suzy Park.
Woo! Thanks for
How are
having
ya?
me. Good.
Thank you for being here.
Yeah, happy to be
Yeah, you
here.
had quite the mission.
Oh yeah, a couple hours. I was like, oh, I'm gonna make it. If my dad in Korea can climb mountains, right, to get to school every single morning at 3 a.m., right?
Both ways.
Yes, both ways, uphill. Yes, always, right? You have to go up the hill, down the hill. I could do a 2-hour trek. So
No, man.
Back
super,
to Mississauga.
super happy to have you.
Yeah, I grew up here. Near here.
You did?
Yeah.
You went to school here or like...
No, I've been a Mississaugan since 3 years old. 4 years. No, 4 years old. Or so.
Okay.
No, three or four. I lived down by the lakeshore when I was 3-4, a toddler, and then.
Were you born in Mississauga?
No, I was born in Korea, but I was
Okay.
living in Canada since I was 2.
All right.
So yeah, Mississauga's been my home since I was 3. And then I left when I was 18, 19, and then I said I'd never come back. But then I moved back for 2 years, and then I moved back downtown again after 2 years. I was like, okay, now I remember why I left Mississauga.
Is there a lot of like bad memories and stuff attached to
Yeah,
this area?
yeah.
That's kind of how I feel about Brampton.
Oh.
You know, like
Yeah.
I talk a lot of shit about Brampton, and it's like people, I don't know if they realize, but I have lived there. I lived there for
What
like
part?
10, 11, I mean,
Wow.
all around. I moved around a lot, you
My
know.
parents had a convenience store there for 20 years. So.
Where was that?
County Court and Highway 10.
Oh my God.
Turtle Jacks?
Okay.
Okay, right beside it.
The last place I was living at for about 5 years or so, and it was at, here, Ontario and Beauvais.
Oh, that's very
Like,
close.
it's not too far from
No. 5-minute drive. So they were just north of Derry Road, yeah. And that was, and I also went to court there when I was a teenager, so, you know.
Yeah, the one at
It's
Steel,
like
like
right
just by
across the
Steels
street
or
from
whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it was all right there. And then, so that was a little bit weird working at that store, too.
So when did you decide? Okay, were you doing music before comedy?
I started playing classical music when I was a child, and then I went through this rebellious phase where I refused to play piano for a very long time because of, you know, when they force you to do something, you don't want to do it anymore. So
Absolutely.
one of those things, and then. By the time I wanted to play again, I couldn't really afford a piano. They're very expensive, except for the ones that people are giving away for free, and you have to pay to take it away. But then you bring it home, and you also have to pay someone not only to tune it, but to fix everything. So it's often not worth it. So yeah, I got myself a little.
But you like playing the piano again?
Yeah, I do. I just wish that I think maybe I just need a teacher or something to kind of help me, because I went from grade 8 to grade 2, you know what I mean? So it's a little different. Yeah,
okay. Played
the guitar in the meantime, and then stopped playing that after a while because I told you earlier I had a injury.
Yeah.
So had an accident, and then that evolved over time and it got worse. So after a while I couldn't play anymore. So I hung that up, and then I just went straight back into doing my graphic design work and art. And that's what that's my training, right?
Okay.
So my background is art. I went to art school. That was just always what I've been known for. And then music, and then just punk music, though. It's not like I went and, did anything like spectacular. It was just like, kind of post-teenage rage, you call it, and just getting stuff out. And then
I still love punk though.
Oh, I do too. Yeah. I even like occasionally, once every few months, I might even listen to my own band. It's kind of bizarre, but it's
You have stuff? Do you have stuff people can find?
Yeah, it's on Google. YouTube, I think.
Well, they're owned by Google, so I guess
I didn't upload it, but there's people that have uploaded it. I didn't realize that we still have some fans, so that's crazy cool.
What's the name of that band?
Okay, well, one band's called Shitloads of Fuck All, and that was the one I was doing vocals for.
Yeah.
So if you look that up on Google, you can find an album called Sentenced to Death. You might find a couple of demo albums. We recorded 3 albums in total. And then there was another one called Fuck Knuckles, and there was sort of 2 albums out of that, 1.5 kind of albums.
Okay.
Yeah, so I played guitar, rhythm guitar on that, and wrote some some music and lyrics and things like that. So I enjoy writing. So writing more even so than performing, I think.
You went to school for like graphic design and stuff like that?
Yeah. So I went to school for fine arts, new media at the time it was called, and now it's called integrated media. Now it's just media. Everything is all mixed media, right? And it's all digital and things. So it was like audio, video, film, things like that. Performance art, all of that combined. And then after that, I went into graphic design, web design, advertising, art direction, and copywriting. So I'm like a forever student. And guess what?
You gotta be, though.
I'm a half credit away from getting a bachelor's degree. You'd think I'd have a PhD by now, but this is, it's part of a mental illness issue, but, but I learned that later in life.
It was weird, like, doing all this kind, like, granted, I do very minimal editing, but there's stuff, and, now that I'm putting on my own shows, I'm doing the posters for that. And originally, I was just gonna pay somebody, and if it hadn't been, like, sometimes, man, you just need the right encouragement, and you can get things done. And I never would have set out to make my own shit on my own, but my girlfriend's like, you can make something like that. Like, you have all the stuff, you could do it, just do it. And so it started from, like, the first poster started from this super simple idea, and I'm trying to come out with, like, this vibe for, like, mine, where they're just kind of, like, brighter colors, and they look kind of, because I'm a big comic book guy, they look like they could be, like, there's comic book elements for sure in both of them.
Yeah. Like, kind of that super HDR kind of photography. That
I've been really enjoying doing this kind of, like, graphic design kind of deal. And the more I do it, the more, like, the better I'm getting. The more information I'm retaining, and the more it's getting easier, and I'm able to do, like, I can see the progression just from my first poster to the second. And I'm like, I wish I do like the simplicity of my first poster, but, like, I can see the growth just from one to the other, and it's nice.
That's the sign of growth. Is you'll look back at your last poster or the one before and go, what the hell?
Yeah.
Just before that, you were like, oh my god, this is the best thing ever.
Right.
I can't even do anything better than that.
I still think it's good, but I look at my new poster now and I'm like, this is fucking awesome.
Yeah.
Like,
well, that's
good.
Growth, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and with design, that's the thing is, I look at stuff that I did when I first started in art school, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't believe that a person did that. Like, it looks like, like a chicken could have done that. But at the same time, you always learn. And also, at the time, I think chicken art was, like, really popular because we were making posters out of photocopy machines and stuff, like kind of that unpolished kind of DIY vibe that we were going for.
And now they're like that's a look that people set out to do on purpose, right?
And they spend extra when it was because we couldn't afford to do anything better.
Yeah, it's crazy.
We're like, this is the
it's
best
like
way.
Ripped jeans and all that kind of fancy shit.
This looks cool for what we can afford, but
It's like I got made fun of in fucking high school because I had, like, Dickies shorts that I cut the legs off the pants or something, And now people wear them like that on purpose. It's like, what?
Yeah. I always found that people who are ostracized for what they wear, they all start dressing like that after.
It's odd, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I still don't understand those the MC Hammer, the harem pants.
See, I used to rock those.
You did.
I did. Yeah.
I just don't like it because you can't see the legs bend.
It was a weird time.
You can't see your knees.
I would always, like, if it rained, it was over. Like, the whole, basically from, like, just under my knee down to my foot would be wet because my pants would just drag. And I don't know.
Cool designs.
They are super comfortable though. I'm not gonna like talk shit, but I look back and I'm like, oh god, they're just a little too big.
Yeah.
You know, like I would still rock some really baggy pants now, but I don't know if I'd rock the ones that I did rock like in high school.
Yeah.
Oh my god, I loved it. That was like most of my pants.
I was that kid with those work pants with the safety pins.
I wore a lot of safety pins too, man. I really did.
Yeah, and then Doc Martens and a bomber jacket and then like maybe a necktie. I don't even remember how to tie one, but like
safety pins were a real good way of adding like more life to a shirt, like if you got a rip or something. Like I at some points I would rip like the collar off and like, you know, the edges of the sleeves and the bottom, like all those kind of like seamed areas. And I would rock like another shirt underneath, and I would just, oh my god, just the amount of safety pins. And I mean like different sizes. I do like X's and like ones that look like stitches, where I'd have like a big safety pin and then like a bunch of smaller ones across.
You had the full bedazzling
I went
book.
out. Yeah.
Like,
I was Hot Topic before there was Hot Topic, you know?
Yeah. Chapter 5, how to crisscross your safety pins. What? That's ridiculous. Funny. That's awesome.
Though, man. You know, you gotta.
Did you put them in your ears and stuff too?
I did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I tried that, but it got a bad infection.
I pierced a lot of my own stuff. Yeah, like I had pretty much everything. I had my eyebrows done. I didn't do those myself. I did one side of my nose. I had both sides done. I did like basically all these holes, and I stretched them on my own. Just, you know, whatever. Cartilage, I did one side. But when I did the cartilage, out of everything that I've had done, I had my tongue done. Out of everything, the cartilage was the worst, and it took like 6 months to heal because it's the only thing that wasn't just flesh.
Yeah.
So it took for fucking ever, and it was a pain because it just prevented me from basically sleeping on one side for half a year. It was horrible.
Yeah.
So, you know.
Can you carve a hole?
But I knew a piercer, and that was kind of, we worked at the same mall, and it was like, hey man, give me like 2 shirts and I'll pierce your lip.
That's what happened to me. It was like, you want a nipple pierce? Okay. You want a belly button pierce? Okay.
Yeah.
But now it's like, I don't even wear a nipple. Yeah, it's weird. But
yeah, I don't wear a lot of my stuff either.
How do we all, like, I don't know. I think a lot of us who did all those free piercings in the early days were like all guinea pigs for our piercer friends.
For sure.
That's too funny.
Definitely.
Happy birthday, you're getting your free piercings. Like from this apprentice? Yeah.
I didn't mind. I can still actually put the ones in my nose, but I never do. I don't know. My
ears are like, I wear them sometimes. I want them, but then I just forget about them.
Yeah.
I think that's
not big on jewelry anymore.
Yeah, because I used to, I had like so much jewelry, and then it just one less, and now it's like, I think the pandemic just went and stripped all the jewelry out of my life.
I used to be more into myself too.
That's it.
Like belt buckles and just, I don't know. I got more, I used to do funky stuff with my hair too. As you can see, it's just like short, shaved. And like I used to like spike it and do funky, dye it all the time. Yeah. And now I'm just like, you know, I'm getting,
same here.
I don't know. It's not like I'm not into it. I like when I see other people do it, but I'm just like,
yeah.
You know, been there.
Yeah.
I'm good.
Yeah. It was fun. You'll have lots of fun doing it.
I've been thinking about doing a mohawk though.
Yeah.
Like not like a long one, but like just like a short, like maybe my hair would be a little longer than this, and then I would just shave the sides down to my head, you know?
Yeah. I've had one here down to here, and then it was shut, and then I ponytailed it. But back in like punk music days, I had some. I always shaved my head. People actually used to call me a Chinese skinhead, and I was never a skinhead, right?
Yeah.
And,
I think it was just like this kind of stigma attached to punk scene.
Yeah.
You know, especially early on when it was fresher.
Yeah. If you got a flight jacket and boots on, sometimes people assume you're and shaved head, then yeah.
Yeah, but completely unaware of like how against like, you know, Nazis and stuff punk music actually is. You know what I mean? It's just ignorance really, but you know, the more it became popular and people started to see, I think that's slowly going away. You know?
It's hilarious because actually that's what drew me to the punk scene. And then when I got there, I was like, whoa, it's all straight white boys. After that, it was fun. And then I realized, oh, well, you know what? This is amazing because there's a lot of straight white boys that aren't doing this. They're doing a lot of like damage. So this is really good. That's why I kind of like got infatuated with the scene because like these are, okay, straight white boys. They could be doing anything with their lives right now. But they're actually actively anti-racist and protesting against racism and poverty and things like that. So that's why I really, really enjoyed about the scene. Of course, there's always those exceptions, right? You go to a friend's house, you're like, what's this Screwdriver album? Yeah, and Screwdriver's a white supremacist band, right? So yeah, and they're like, well, they're not that. They have a few good songs. I'm like, what? Like when you see the yellow bellies crawling down the street, which one? White Power for England? Which one? Which song? Right? So it was always a fun exception. You just get shocked and you're like, wow, you're anti-racist, and then you got this in your collection. Then there's always an excuse, right?
I don't even know who they are, but that's gotta be...
Yeah.
Especially if they're friends, it's like, you know...
Yeah. It's hilarious. Amazing the excuses that you get. Well, I mean, I used to make excuses too, right? Like when I encounter things and I didn't know what, you know, you encounter all this cognitive dissonance, you don't know what to do with all this, so you're just like, you justify things, and you just say, okay, well, maybe it's because whatever, or it's not so bad.
Look, I think maybe not to the extent of being like a racist, you know, or something like that, but I think we all look back to, you know, 10 years ago when are like, ooh, like I thought that, like I said that, like,
yeah.
And it's not, I don't even think that's bad. I think that is how it should be. Not necessarily like, but like you should see that growth and you should look back and you should realize, like, if you're not, there's probably something wrong there, or you're there. Yeah. Yeah,
you grow from, you learn from it, and that's how we become better people, right? Yeah. I mean, I used to self-loathe, you know, as an ethnic person. Sometimes you grow up hating yourself because you're not the ideal of what you're taught you're supposed to be, and you never can be, right? So actually in this era it's a lot better now, but you know, growing up in Mississauga before, it was a lot different than even when my little sister was growing up. Very different. So like we had two different worlds. So in the like late 1970s and 1980s, it was really, really a strange place to live for me, and I always wanted to come to Toronto. So I was like, a lot of my friends lived in Scarborough and around Toronto area, so we always met in Toronto, and that's how I ended up in Toronto, because it's just the place that...
How long have you been living in Toronto?
Feel comfortable. Since 1991.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
So...
I love Toronto.
31 years now then? Yeah, I love it. I moved back for 2 years to Mississauga here, and then back again.
It's like, no.
Yeah.
I don't mind Mississauga right now because I am coming from Brampton, so it's definitely an upgrade from Brampton.
Mm-hmm.
But like, as I'm getting deeper into this, and as I said, like I'm really trying to like, you know, shift to leaving 9 to 5 and just pursuing, you know, this stuff full time. And, you know, living in Mississauga is just not the best place. Like, I need to be closer to Toronto.
Mm-hmm. Well, you do a lot of shows out there and stuff, and you have a lot of your connections out there too, right? And that's one of the things is I went to school downtown, and I worked downtown, and all my friends were down there. And for me, Mississauga had a lot of, like, just childhood memories I didn't want to, like, kind of always be around. Every time I go somewhere, it's like a trigger of some sort.
Yeah.
And not that Toronto isn't in its own way, but for some reason I feel like I could at least breathe in the city, whereas in Mississauga I felt like there was, ironically enough, I felt like there was all these eyes on me, even though it's like you have your own space, you have space around your house. Right now I live in a row house, right? So you can hear your neighbors and each other, right? This is Toronto, and that's actually good living for Toronto, right?
Yeah, you got a good spot, right?
Yeah, location, because our place is falling apart, but
I've seen some real odd spot, like places where their whole apartment is like you can't stand up fully in the fucking thing. Like, what do you wait? You pay $1,600 for this bachelor that you can't stand up in?
Yeah.
What's going on?
You can't even stretch out. It's like
it's crazy.
Yeah, you're like, I'll rent these 2 closets side by side, and I'll have a whole apartment. But right now, I'm very fortunate. We have like a house. It's an old, damaged house, and the ceiling falls on us. All kinds of shit happens. But we have space. And that's really important, and that's hard to find in Toronto, right? That's what, like, you're actually very, like, this is amazing, like, that you have this space that I don't know. It's just, if you took this down back into Toronto, it'd probably cost you Yeah. You'd be doing 3 side jobs just to afford it, right? So Toronto is a sacrifice. It's not like you can just move to Toronto and be luxury living, right? So
I don't drive, so like I really need to kind of get there.
Yeah.
I need to be there so I can just take the TTC everywhere. And I, obviously I take, public transit everywhere anyway, but just being in Toronto and being on the TTC system would speed things up a lot.
Yeah. That's the one thing is I didn't think I could live without a car because I have always had a car up until a couple of years ago. Just before the pandemic, I sold my car, and then I just decided I'm just going to take the transit everywhere, or I'll rent one or something. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I when I came here, when I was looking up ways to get here, I looked up Enterprise Car Rental. I looked up Turo.
Oh my God.
I looked up everything, and then I was like, okay, no. Because I'm like, okay, then I can visit my parents while I'm up in Caledon, and then no, okay, I'm just gonna ride the damn go train and do it. And so it was quite a challenge. I didn't think I could, but transit is not that bad.
Yeah, I mean, as long as you had like music or something to, pass the time. I saw you come in with some headphones and stuff like that. So
noise canceling headphones.
It helps. I find I do a lot of like writing and stuff when I'm traveling.
Oh.
I find it's like a really just good time where I'm just like out, or like I'll see somebody and it'll like something about them will spark something.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe just a premise that I'll write down and like.
You don't get motion sickness? So...
You know what I do sometimes? It's odd, and I don't understand exactly what it is, but like a lot of the times, like after work, if I take like the bus or Uber, it's just I don't know. Every time it happens, there's nothing I can hold on to that's like, oh, this is why this is happening. Yeah. It's so strange, but it has to be motion sickness because it only ever happens when I'm like, on a go bus. It's happened on like, Mrs. or My Way or whatever the fuck they call it,
Yeah.
People handing me bags at the back of the bus and stuff like.
Yeah. I actually have a roll of dog
just in case?
bags. Yeah.
Hey, that's a good idea, man.
And I even keep one open.
That's wild. That's wild. Prepared.
Well, my mom's been doing it for me since I was a baby, right? So I've been getting perpetually motion sick from everything. I have an uncle who actually has a sailboat, and I rode on it when I was a kid a few times, but as an adult, I'm terrified. I'm just going to get sick, and I'm like, people say, but it's so beautiful, and you'll enjoy it. I said, no, I'll just be hanging over the bow, just throwing up, or whatever, bow, or whatever it's called. So yeah, motion sickness is, I took 4 ginger gravels before I came here. I don't know if that's good or not.
Ginger gravels?
Yeah.
Those exist.
Because otherwise you get...
is that 2 separate things?
You get drowsy.
Or is it just one thing together?
It's one thing.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's gravel in the form of ginger.
Okay. It's
actually, I have a whole... Okay, do you want me to show you?
Oh, I mean, you can, yeah.
There, ginger gravel.
Okay.
Yeah, can you...
Sponsor me, ginger gravel.
Yeah, so that helps. That's why I'm not asking for bags. I have my own, and... Yeah, but my mom trained me well, yes.
So let me ask you, because you posted something recently, and... I mean, I don't know if you came up with it, or if you found it somewhere, but I just found it to be very beautiful. It's super simple, but it was something along the lines of like, they never let me sit at their table, so I made my own.
Oh, yeah.
And it's just, and I'm sure as a Korean woman, you've experienced, different hurdles than me, a white man.
Mm-hmm.
But, like, I have a very strong, like, connection to that because I feel the exact same way.
I can see that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't dispute that. I wouldn't dismiss because you're a white guy, you don't have those hurdles. No, you have hurdles too. You just don't have the hurdle to do with race. That's
or
right?
like
here.
You're also, you have but you vagina.
Exactly.
So
you don't have, there's those
differences
hurdles.
for sure.
So yeah, basically like I felt like I've never been welcome to sit at like their table, and by their table I mean neurotypical, normal, whatever, accepted behavior, vibes, anything to do with being normal. I've never felt normal, so I'm not somebody who's comfortable sitting at a table where everybody's kind of like made it known to you that you're different, right? And even when they're trying not to, and it's subtle, you can tell. Like, I've always known that I'm different, but I didn't know why. I've always tried to mask to fit in and stuff, and I couldn't. So I thought, well, if I don't feel welcome with what other people are doing, I'll just do my own thing. Like, when I wanted to join a punk band, I wanted to play, and nobody wanted to play. So then I started my own, and suddenly everybody wanted to join my table. I had 3 white guys freaking playing with me in a band when we were touring, right? And yeah, 3 straight white guys. So when people tell me, why do you give white guys such a hard time? I go, well, I think I give them more opportunities and platforms like to share with me than you might think, just because of a few words I say. I like to keep people in check, right? I like to keep myself in check. I even do this to myself. Self-criticism too, right?
Yeah.
So, I feel like it's really important that we all keep each other in check, but that doesn't mean that I have issues against certain groups of people or anything like that. So when I say I build my own table, it's because I can't always live by or follow certain rules and sets of rules, and I'm sure you can relate to that. As somebody who might, you're a chef, right? So, and I'm a designer, creatives. We're not working in office environments. I don't know how you are in an office environment, but I tried it and it nearly killed me.
I don't like it.
I kept getting promoted and then I got laid off because, it just. First of all, I found out that I had a premature menopause. And I'm sitting in the office. I had no idea what was going on, and I'm getting hot flashes and I'm crying in the office at 10 o'clock in the morning, and people are like, okay, we know you're weird, but what is this, right?
What's up with Suzy?
Yeah.
People are just like peeking.
Yeah.
You can see them.
So I'm like, I don't know, I think I'm getting hot flashes, and this one agent comes in, she's in her 50s, she's like, honey, you don't know what a hot flash is until you've hit menopause. And she's just like, honey, you have no idea. And I'm just like, oh, okay, well, you're right. I'm so sorry. And I'm so sorry about your thing.
Yeah.
I'm like, how dare I? And then I go, get gaslighted by a doctor for 2 years. And then I find out that I had the exact same condition that she was going through.
Brutal.
Except 20 years earlier than she did.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it was very funny in a way, in retrospect. At the time, it wasn't funny. But then I realized that, wait, no matter what I go through, even if I try, if I'm going through the same thing as somebody else and I try to articulate that, it's really hard for me. If somebody else has the right words and they have the flow and everything, and I'm like, that's what normal people are like. And I could never be that. So that's why I built my own table so I could have my own conversations.
Well, I don't even think it's like, well, okay, I don't want to speak for you, but from like where I'm coming from, it's like I never wanted to be that. I fucking for sure. Like if I really put my mind to it, I could wear fucking slacks and a fucking sport coat and a tie every day. But like I don't want to. Like it's like it's odd, and especially like I'm sure you're somewhere on the fringe too. But even in comedy, where it's like. I mean, comedy is just comedians are all outsiders. Like and even in this world of outsiders, I still feel like an outsider.
Yeah.
And I kind of
That's the funny thing about being a punk and for being a comedian, right? Same thing, yeah. Yeah, comedy is a very, very dark art that people don't realize. When I sing about raisins, they're like, doesn't she have anything? Doesn't she have any real problems? And it's like, you have no idea where this comes from.
I thought that was so funny.
Yeah, and then when I see, like, you mentioned the word, like, suicide, and then, what? And it throws people right off. It's just bizarre.
Yeah, but I like that, I like bizarre. I was invited to do this show, and I showed up with two of my buddies. I thought it was going to be a legitimate, show somewhere. Mm-hmm. And it was just, in somebody's backyard. And I was like, don't get me wrong, I appreciate what you're trying to do. And then I get there, and I would have stayed. The two people I, came with, they were like, oh, dude, this is a little weird. We don't really want to stick around. And I was like, well, you guys are my fucking ride home. I work tomorrow at 7 a.m. I'm going to go with you. We showed up, and they're just it's just a bunch of comedians who walk into the backyard, and everybody's just, I can just hear, I don't know exactly who they're talking about, but they're just all talking shit about other comedians, and I just hate that stuff. It's like, yo, we're all in this together. Not everybody thinks you're funny, dude. Shut the fuck up. I've even, done shows, and, where I've had to be to people where they'd be like, oh, I heard this person wasn't funny. And I was like, well, I mean, everybody doesn't think I'm funny. There are people that think they're funny.
Yeah, there's lots of people.
So, who cares? With my shows, I want them to be well-rounded. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And it's especially, I mean, you're a female. And that's what also I want to know. It's what kind of hurdles have you faced as a female, in this scene?
Well, sometimes, so one of the reasons I built a table, and I don't mean just the show or anything like that, just in my own mind, I said this is kind of the kind of scene that I'm going to have in my head, and if that correlates with what already exists, then that's great, but if there isn't, then that's then I'm going to do something.
It's your vision.
Right? Yeah.
It's your vision. So you got to make it come to life.
Yeah, I wanted to do that. And when I sorry, you gotta repeat the question because of my ADHD.
No, I'm just saying, the hurdles that you faced as a female. Yeah.
So when I tried to, join the comedy scene before, I had an issue where I wanted to ask for shows. Nobody knew I existed, right? So I was at the point where I had to ask, but I was afraid to because I didn't want to start off on the wrong foot or get into the wrong group and then regret it later. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
For example, there was one show that I went to, and I was at Trinity Bellwoods, and it was just a couple of, I hate to call people douchebags, but a couple of douchebags.
Hey, douchebags are real.
Yeah, they exist. These,
right.
I don't know if they're incel-y douchebags, but they kind of gave me that vibe. And their audience was strictly virtual, I guess, because there was nobody there. And a little bit later, I saw some people posting something about on so they had advertised that show, and I was like, I don't recommend this show. It's just disgusting, just the host calling people dick brains and stuff. Yeah. And that's all it was, right? There was nothing else to it. And all they were just doing was there to supposedly roast the comedians, but there was nothing funny about the roast, right? When you roast someone, you gotta be funny, right? So, otherwise you're just insulting them. So it just made me really uncomfortable for the comedians. And one of them was their first show, and I don't even know if they noticed it, but as a female, as the only female there in the audience, and then when they asked me if I wanted to do a set, I said, yeah, possibly. But then they started trying to compare me with this white woman that came up earlier. And they kept talking about white girls and white things. And they kept looking at me and saying, no offense, making me the most uncomfortable. I'm like, I'm your audience. I'm your only audience member. Why are you treating me like this, right? Imagine you're having a mic and the only female in your, or, visibly coded female in your group. And all the rest are the comedians that are trying to do this show with you, and they're all dudes. one woman, and I was just because I was a girlfriend of one guy that was on the thing. He didn't even want to be there. He just wanted to practice, right? So,
Yeah, you get a lot of that.
Adderall
God.
makes your mouth dry, and it makes you
doing
talk
Adderall. How do you feel about that?
So I'm on day 17 now. I can't even remember now. I had to cut my dose down to half because the first 5 days I was on it was really good. The next 5 days wasn't so great, and then the next 4 or 5 days after that were kind of leveling off a bit. And so now I had to do this, and it helped my train of thought for a little while, but now I'm down to half, so I kind of have to get used to that again, I think. I'm not sure. So, like, I'm talking, and then suddenly my brain just farts. Just.
Do you think it's helping, though?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, it's a very, it's a very fine line with a lot of those prescription drugs, So.
Yeah.
Just gotta keep an eye on it.
I had to stop taking, like, I was on an antidepressant, anti-anxiety medication, and that also helps with nerve pain and stuff like that. So I was taking it and I had to balance that, but it gives you this thing, it can cause like serotonin syndrome.
Okay.
And that just, your serotonin level, I guess, goes through the roof, and it's not good, like too much. And as someone with ADHD, it's I have a dopamine and neuro. Sorry, I can't pronounce things very well.
It's fine. Just all these medical words.
And
Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it.
And yeah, I have a couple of certain kinds of what do you call those? The happy hormones. They call them. There's the 4 happy hormones. Yeah, so I'm missing 2 of those hormones. So
okay.
The Adderall helps to elevate that. That
right.
helps me to be able to focus and talk to you. Otherwise, I probably would have been running outside already going, wait, I need a break. So.
Okay.
Yeah. So excuse my run-on sentences.
No, don't even worry
it's
about it.
It's one or the other today.
That's what we got.
I'm like a brain fart.
Just be yourself,
So
I wouldn't want anything else.
Well, thank you. So, as we were talking about the hurdles, yes. So, as a person of color, yeah, like I noticed things like, I don't want to be part of the scene, right? That kind of scene where just people insulting each other and stuff. And I had a hard time trying to find where I might fit into the comedy scene. So, when I discovered something called Asian comedy in Toronto, I have to yell that really loud.
It's pretty big. It's pretty big, though.
It is, and I didn't even know it was that big. And, like, oh my gosh, I gotta shout out Vong and Leonard and Kathy. And there's a few, that I want to, that I could want to give credit to. I joined,
do you know
Asian...
Jennifer Shung?
Yes. Oh, yeah. I love Jennifer. She's so amazing.
I tried to get her on the monthly show, and now she's like a big fucking deal.
Right.
To be honest, she's always kind of been a big deal. She came here, and she was a big deal from where she came from, and then she became a big deal here, and now like she's on CP24, just crushing it. And
that's so
when
cool.
I was starting up, I was like, I gotta reach out. I haven't seen her in a while. I was like, hey, like, are you still doing comedy? Like, I do this show. Like, come headline. And she was like, oh, she's not allowed.
I know.
She's not allowed.
I know, cause I know.
But she's really funny, man. She's so funny.
Oh my god, I can't get her baseball mitt image out of my mind.
But the Asian comedy scene is big, and they oh man,
and like
it's good to
it
see.
It blew up, and I was like, oh my gosh. When I went, so a few years ago, I went out to. Was it? Okay, sorry, by few years I mean like more than 10 years ago. I went out to the Second City, and it was a great show that I went to see. It was about the G20 protests and
that
the
was going
kettling
on?
and all that. It was right
my
after
God.
that.
I was down there when that was happening.
Yeah, so I lived right next door. Like I live, that was at Queen of Spadina. Mm-hmm. There was one of the.
Yep.
Well, I live a block from there, so.
Okay.
Oh, I shouldn't say that on there. But I don't want no trolls coming up. Yeah, knocking on my garage door. But yeah, no. So I was walking my dog, and I saw a white man with a briefcase, being stopped by a police and officer and made to open his briefcase. And I said, if they're doing that to the white guy, I'm not going anywhere near there.
Yeah, right.
So I had to go right back home with my dog.
Nobody's safe.
Few of my friends got arrested that day because
I knew quite a few people that got arrested, and
Yeah.
I was like really close.
Yeah.
But I left like at a decent amount of time before like they started cornering everybody.
I've been so lucky. I mean, okay, so I've been to protests that got violent, like OCAP protests, where I just somehow got lucky and didn't get arrested. The only times I get arrested is when I'm not doing anything. That's the weirdest thing.
I did get to see the car or a cop car on fire though.
Oh, okay. So the idiot that was jumping on that in the news, you saw it on the newspapers. There was a photo of it, and there's an idiot jumping on it. That guy is a complete idiot. First of all, he's
You know him?
yes. He used to play drums for my band.
Oh shit.
He is
Likely story.
yes, and he is not a good person at all. Like. In the way of his relationships, in the ways of how he treats people, he's just not a good person. So,
Okay.
that idiot was an idiot, but I did recognize him, so I was like, oh my god, I gotta look
I wonder if anybody ended up getting... Because I remember when they kind of like stormed whatever in Washington, you know, last year or whenever it was.
Oh yeah, January 6th.
But like a lot of those people, you know, got arrested. Even if they weren't arrested at the scene, like they found out who they were and they arrested them after.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know. Like, I wonder if that guy ended up getting arrested for that.
No, probably not. He didn't get arrested for all the other horrible things he did, so...
Lots of people do shitty
know what I mean?
things
Yeah.
and they get arrested,
Yeah.
man.
But,
You know, it's fucking...
yeah.
fucked up world.
Oh, yeah. So, in comedy, I got arrested on August 22nd.
Fuck the police.
Yeah.
Right.
That's the sound of the...
So, yes, like I said, I have some snacks here from Japan.
Wow.
You can pick one, I'll pick one. We'll try them out,
Okay.
and then we can go on to our top 5 business. This tells you, because it's all, like, none of it's English, really.
Oh,
This
okay.
says popcorn stuff.
I'm not
popcorn.
fluent in Japanese, but I'm fluent in sweets. I'm fluent in the Galleria supermarket. So, wow, this is amazing. I'm touching everything. This next person's gonna have to wipe all this stuff off. I'm holding this.
You
so
want
I guess,
that? All right,
yes.
do that. I'll
Let's open
grab...
one of these. But this is massive.
What am I going to grab?
Okay, so-
You have chocolate? I want to grab this popcorn. What's this? I don't know what these are. What are those? They are strawberry milk Kit Kats.
Yes, they are. Strawberry milk Kit Kat.
See, you're allowed to do that.
Strawberry.
I'm okay, so
I'm doing more my mom than any
let me ask you something for real, okay?
Yeah.
Because have you seen Shang-Chi?
Yes.
Okay, so I was watching I was like, because me and my girlfriend got into this conversation. Like, my girlfriend's Middle Eastern.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, she's Asian.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, we got into this conversation because, like, obviously I'm into comic books. I don't know if I've ever heard his name said other than in that movie. That was the first time I heard it said and realized, like, I was bastardizing it and saying it's super white.
Yeah. Like
I was like, Shang-Chi.
Yeah.
And so, legitimately, I would try and I would be like, Shang-Chi. And I would try to say it how they were saying it. She'd be like, you can't do that. I was like, I'm trying to say the name properly. This isn't like me, like, mocking, you know, them, you know, or
Tamara, come on.
You know, and so, like, exactly how would you say?
Or is it Tamara? Sorry.
This is specifically for my girlfriend because she will watch this. I mean, I'm sure other people want to know, but like, what do you think? Too far? Is that okay? Like, where's the line? Because like in no way I was trying to be like disrespectful or anything like that. I was just trying to say the fucking name properly.
Yeah.
And she was acting like because I'm white, I can't try to say the name properly. I was like, why?
Absolutely try.
Why not?
Yeah,
like,
it's different. It's different than just coming. But
or like fucking doing my eyes or some shit, you know. Right? Then okay, you're past the line.
You didn't have the maka haka ding ding, whatever that phrase was.
All right,
got it. You know, yeah. No, that's perfectly fine. Trying to pronounce like my Korean name is Shin Young. I couldn't even pronounce it as a kid, so I changed it. When I was in grade 1, I changed it to my kindergarten teacher's name, Susan. The whitest name, right? I didn't even know at the time. I was only 6 years old, so you can imagine how the length of the depth of the bullying that was going on for me to have to change my own name. So, wow, this is crazy. There's all strawberry milk, but they're all in rainbow colored.
I just want to say OCD.
I'm not diagnosed OCD. That's what I'll say.
Okay. This is very appealing to me, and I just love how you like ended them out. It's like no, blue is fucking, and we're
yes,
it's nice.
And this troubles me very much, so I had to.
How there's only one?
Yes.
This one has to go, but then there's only going to be one left from another one.
Yeah. Right. So
yeah, it's a problem either way.
Yeah.
Fuck you, Tokyo Treat.
Yeah.
Okay, so you try some of these first. These are taro beans. I'm not exactly sure. I've never had them before. Bite-sized crackers. They
taste like taro chips.
What is taro? What's that?
It's like a root.
Does it look kind of like a carrot? Maybe.
It looks a little bit like a lotus, maybe a purple lotus. I don't know. No, I mean lotus. What do you call that?
Tastes pretty damn good though.
Yeah, it's a fruit. Taro is a fruit.
I dig it.
It doesn't look like a lotus at all.
Kit Kats are pretty safe.
They make French fries out of taros too.
What?
And they make chips.
That would be so good.
Yeah. Okay, so you know where the Bovine Sex Club is?
Yeah.
Okay, so it's not a sex club, by the way. Just for your audience in case. Yes, it's a popular music. Yes, we played there. I like that place.
You performed there?
Ages ago.
Okay.
Like in
That's
the
pretty cool,
late 90s or something like that, early 2000s or something like that. Yeah, I played at a lot of bars in Toronto. Even like the Alamo Combo. I was like, I'm so lucky I got to play the Alamo Combo like a dozen times before they shut down. The first time, right? And now they're open as a different thing. But bands like us can't get in there now, right? So, yeah. You were just asking something.
I don't know. What was I asking?
Okay.
All right, let's try this.
Strawberry, yes.
Strawberry
milk. All right, so I have to take another blue one too then.
All right,
let's do it.
I have high hopes for this.
My favorites are pink. My favorite is green tea so far, so let's see.
You know what, man? I wanted this to be good.
Too sweet?
It's there. It's like, it's like...
It tastes like Neapolitan ice cream.
It tastes like chemical Neapolitan, like it's like...
Yeah!
There's this weird chemically...
Not real fruit.
I don't know what I'm trying to say. I do know what I'm trying to say, but I can't say it.
I know what you're saying too.
Tastes like fucking chemicals. Like there's a very, very strong like chemical aftertaste. Like it's not a food. It's not natural. You know.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It is really sweet, but if it didn't have that chemical taste, yeah, there's a bunch of fake shit in there. That's not.
Yeah, it's trying to be strawberry cheesecake or something, but it's really not.
No, I'm gonna have a couple more of these just to get the taste of that.
Yeah, I don't mind it, but it's just not.
All right.
I like the green tea kind, but it's good. But.
So let's get into it.
So wait.
Top 5.
All right.
What do you want to start with? Well, you know what? Let's leave these here.
Talk about anything.
All right, let's start with current shows.
Okay, current shows.
I can start.
All right.
Just because like this was originally gonna be something else, and then it was gonna be. I don't even want to say because I'm probably gonna do it on another podcast, so I'm not gonna say it. But it was something, and you're like, no, I don't want to do that, and this was totally fine.
Oh yeah, okay.
And but I didn't really like when we say current shows. Like when I made it, like we talked about this I think yesterday, and so like there wasn't a lot of time to really go over it. But when I say current shows, it's shows that I am currently watching or just finished.
Okay.
Not necessarily shows that are
still
currently airing.
Oh, okay.
You know?
Yeah.
So, and if you did that, that's totally fine. I just wanted to clarify before I go into my list because there's some that aren't airing right now, and I didn't want it to be like, wait a minute. Okay, so the first one, and it just wrapped up its first season. It's getting a second season, Peacemaker.
Okay. Which
was on HBO. It has like most notably John Cena. Viola Davis has like a small recurring role, but she's not in every episode. And it's just a really solid show. It's kind of based in a DC universe that was a branch of the Suicide Squad movie that came out last year. That's just, I think, phenomenal. Probably one of the best superhero shows of all time. Nice. My number 2, Archive 81. Have you seen that on Netflix?
I haven't, but I started to, but I haven't got through it yet. Oh. Not the first episode yet.
Yeah, it's a ride, man. Yeah. And I
saw another movie with a couple of the actors in it, so I was like really interested. So,
okay. I don't even think I recognized any of the actors, but I honestly, I enjoy that most of the time. Like sometimes
new actor,
like having like, if Leonardo DiCaprio was in this role, it would just all be about him, that kind of deal. But this show is really good. The woman in the house from the girl in the window, a woman in the house across the street from the girl in the window. Do you know that name?
Yeah, but
something along those lines. Yeah. Something along those lines. But yeah, that show was one that I predicted the end.
Oh, okay.
And it didn't seem like it was going to be what I thought initially. And it was it started off really good. And then in the middle, I'm like, I almost gave up on the show. I almost did. But I kept it going and it ended really well. So that's my number 3. Then I'm going to go Mad Men. And this is one that... This is one that... one of the reasons that I said that earlier because...
I watched all but the last couple of seasons.
I don't know when the last season aired, but it's been over for a bit. And for Christmas, I got my girlfriend this box set with all every season. Yeah. And a bunch of extra shit. And so we've been going through that. We finished it maybe a week or 2 ago. Nice. And it's pretty solid. And oddly enough...
Don't spoil the last season.
Okay, oddly enough though, I really... It was hard for me to get into initially because there were... I'm big on main characters, main protagonists. Yeah. And there was nothing for me, I didn't relate to any of the people in Mad Men. All the guys were douchebags and yeah. I think the real story in Mad Men is the story of the women. For me personally, that's what I enjoyed watching, especially Peggy Olson. She's the best character of that whole show. So Mad Men's my number 4.
Nice.
And then Worst Roommate Ever. Oh. Which I'm not done. I'm still going through that. I think I'm on episode... I think they have 5, and I've watched 3 so far.
Oh, wow.
That's really good.
Awesome. Oh, my God.
What about you?
Okay, so I guess let's start here. Patriot Act with Hassan Minhaj. I love that show. He just talks about all these different world issues and different things, right?
I know what it is. I've never seen it.
It's amazing. And yeah, he really goes in depth, and he also provides a lot of entertainment at the same time. So if you get bored easily, it's a really good watch. And then there's This Is Us. It's an amazing show. I just love how the story they just talk about all aspects of life and just issues that we all go through every day, and it's just through the eyes of these three twins. I said that out loud. Through these triplets.
I don't even know the show.
I know, but I said
three twins. So if you just said 3 twins, I would have been like, oh, that's interesting. You could have just kept going.
Yeah, it's a show about these 3 twins. So yeah, yeah, and then. No, it's a drama series, and it just makes me cry, makes me smile, just the gamut. And The Walking Dead, it's just incredible. I
love it still.
I do.
I fell off of it again.
Well, Rick disappeared. I haven't watched the season where I don't know if I've seen posters and pictures, so I know he comes back at some point, but I haven't seen it. So
well, to be real, what are you doing getting rid of Rick in the first place?
I know, right?
What?
And you knew that he didn't die because he, he got swept away with those Wonder Woman people, and and then the next one, and Snowpiercer. That's one that I've been... Oh, wow. So I
watched a few of that.
Yeah, now I'm curious about the book. Because I watched the movie, and that was good. Then I started watching the series. And it's a different story, but it's just... it's really good so far. And it just talks a lot about kind of just social structures and how when you're crammed into that, just how it all blows up and how.
I watched a few with my girlfriend, but she wasn't into it.
Ah.
I'm gonna watch it. Like I'm gonna get into it again by myself. But.
Yeah. See, well, my boyfriend doesn't like the Walking Dead, so that's why I've put it on pause. I haven't seen the last season yet, but once I do. And then number 5, I guess right now so far it would be Bel Air.
Really?
Yeah,
okay.
because it's only 4 episodes, 5 episodes so far.
Yeah, somewhere around there.
And I enjoy it because it's like Fresh Prince, but it doesn't have that over the top corny. The cheese, and I love the cheese factor about it. Right?
That's what I.
That's what I loved about it. But this is just a completely different story. Like I thought I might like, what is it, Riverdale, about the Archies and stuff. But I was like, right. I saw a little bit of it, and I couldn't get into that. So
what about the Saved by the Bell one? What did you think about that?
But Bel Air for me was different because the storyline diverges, and it's very different.
Look, I'm a huge massive Fresh Prince of Bel Air fan.
Yeah.
So like watching the first episode of it was cool. I was like, oh, who is everybody? And it was kind of cool to kind of. Not really a fan of Carlton. I've only seen 2 episodes. Yeah. Second episode, I was kind of like, I don't know. I'm probably going to continue watching it at some point. But, I don't know. I haven't got too deep. Wasn't a fan of Carlton. I enjoy the guy that got to play Will and a couple of the other characters, Jazz, and some others.
I'm just enjoying kind of... contrasting how they made certain people kind of opposites of what they are, because like Uncle Phil was like, he's strict but he's very corny, but this Uncle Phil is not corny at all, right?
Carlton's like what, like, oh wait, he doesn't do, it's not coke, it's he's doing
Xanax,
that's it. He's all into that shit, sniffing,
and he gets deep, like he's deep, but he's just I don't know. Yeah, I just want to see how like Carlton navigates this because in the show it feels like he's a little oblivious. In this one, he's got this really bad anxiety disorder that just really shows up, right? And they actually mention that at some point. So I was like, oh, okay. So this is why Carlton is not. Yeah, you won't see the Carlton dance anymore.
Right.
No, Barrel Manilow, no, nothing. But. But I just thought it was a different turn from Will Smith's story.
I know he's involved. Will Smith is involved with this.
One of the producers.
Yeah, so I'm definitely going to give it another shot, but I'm on the fence right now.
Yeah.
With that show.
I think the Carlton, it's a little harder to get over the fact that Carlton's not this like corn dog, you know. So it's just like
the relationship is
there's
really,
no comic relief from him.
There's like none, right?
No, there's a lot of tension between them, but that tension in the TV show was all comical, right? Like, oh, Carlton just thinks he's too good for Will. This one, he really thinks he's too good for Will.
Well, you know, like, I mean, you've seen all of Fresh Prince of Bel Air.
Pretty much.
So, like, I mean, I would argue that the show's main relationship is Carlton and Will. Mm-hmm. Right? And in this, I don't feel that.
Oh, it is.
Yeah? Okay.
That's where, it is a lot of, it's Carlton versus Will. Okay. In a lot of ways. And
I'm going to give it another shot.
Yeah, we'll try it. And and there's also Dear White People. That would be
Dear White People.
5.5.
All right.
That was a good show.
I only watched the first season in that.
Yeah, the last season gets very musical, so you might, if you don't like the over the top, like kind of Glee style kind of shit, I don't know if you'll like, but
I'm not completely against musical stuff. Like, I enjoy sometimes when like regular shows have musical episodes. Yeah. It just, it depends how it's executed.
Yeah.
Really,
Yeah.
What do you want to do? Let's do twist ending movies.
Okay.
Do you want to start?
Okay, well, we can start The Sixth Sense, because it's classic,
corny,
twist ending.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I don't even need to say why it's a twist ending, right?
It's a legendary twist.
I don't want to spoil it so soon, but yeah.
Yeah.
He's not alive.
It just missed the cut of my list. It was
about-
number 5, and then I remembered another movie,
Yeah.
and so it got the boot.
Oh, I was gonna wear my I See Dead Pixels T-shirt. It just, yeah. Anyway. They think they're alive. They don't know they're dead. And then Us. Us was great.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh, that was amazing.
That was right creepy.
Yeah. That was okay. Shawshank Redemption. I didn't expect that ending when I first watched it. I mean, now the last 20 times I watched it, obviously, I know what's gonna happen. But yeah, at the beginning, I guess, I don't know. It's just one of my favorite movies.
It's a solid movie.
Yeah.
I have like a weird memory of that movie because the first time I watched it was in school. And during, like, while we were watching it, the teacher that was showing it to us, like, this was like, he explained before we watched it that he loved this movie. It was one of his favorite movies of all time. And at one part, I can't remember the part, but somebody, like, and they shouldn't, it wasn't a funny part, but they laughed at, like, a serious part.
Oh.
And, like, he got up and he turned the light on. He's like, I love this movie, and blah, and he just, like, yelled at this fucking kid. So, like, every time I think of Shawshank Redemption, I just think of this one.
Because they laughed.
Interaction. He got the boot from class. Yeah, he, like, sent down to the principal's office. You know, like, like, it was a big deal, you know? That is a great movie. I
feel terrible because I laughed at one part of Beaches, and it wasn't because it was funny. I was crying, but I laughed because it was so uncomfortable and awkward. Right? I'm sitting there, and I laughed at the absurdity that I was sitting there, like, crying in a theater. And then people around me like, shh, don't be so rude. I'm like, Barbara Hershey's dying. I'm like, I'm sorry. I know that. So, next one. Oh, Matrix, yeah. And Squid Game.
Squid Game. That was so good.
Yeah, and the twist
really
ending
good.
at the old man. Oh,
I was like so close to being someone from Squid Game, like the what's the main guy with like the polygon type face that's all black? What's his name? Like Commander or so? I don't know. That guy.
I forget the name.
The bad guy though.
Yeah.
I was gonna be him for Halloween, and I had already purchased the Bob Ross costume, and then I watched Squid Game. I was like, damn it, maybe I could just get the mask and be like Squid Game Bob Ross.
Yeah.
You know? Like, but I just ended up being Bob Ross. Yeah, that would have been alright. Maybe next year.
Oh, wow, that's amazing. Bob Ross is the best. I had a wig one time, but and then I learned that it came across as kind of racist.
You're just like me. I just want to say, I'm noticing while we're here.
Sorry, I'm a picky as fuck.
Oh, don't even worry. You're picking all the fluffs off here. I do this all the time, and then I watch it back. When I'm like editing, I'm like, oh fuck, stop picking at the shit. And you're doing it just like me.
I'm picking my fingers. I'm picking this.
Oh, don't even worry.
I'm a picker.
It's all right. I'm fidgety too, man. It's okay.
Oh, that's so funny.
All right. So for me, I'm gonna go with Saw as my number 1.
Ooh, yeah.
That was
all the Saws or
just the first one. I like the first one. I like the second one, and oddly enough, I like the 7th one. I think it is
the last one.
Yeah,
that's a good one. The one with the big platform where they pulling like this.
Yeah.
That was crazy.
But yeah, like I never saw that coming.
Or was it
just great? You remember that shit? Getting up from the middle of the fucking bathroom. No, that was
different. That was Squid Game.
What are you thinking of?
I'm thinking Squid Game.
No, okay, so the Saw is like, he's just trapped in that like bathroom type room, and there's like a dead body, and there's all this blood around him.
Yeah, okay, yeah,
and then at the end, the dead body fucking stands up and like leaves and locks the guy in.
Yeah, and they had a black lead in that. Is that the one?
I can't.
Yeah, because a lot of them are different. Yeah, that's amazing.
It was solid.
Yeah.
Wait. I'm pretty sure
the one with
the lead in the Saw 1 was a white guy though. The first one, yeah.
Yeah, that was the white guy. The first.
Yeah, he came back eventually at some point, right?
I don't remember.
I think he might have even been in like the last one or one of them.
I don't remember.
Anyways, Saw is my first one.
Sweet.
One I watched recently, and this guy gets a lot of heat. M. Night Shyamalan. I think that's how you say his name.
Mm-hmm.
Old. It's called Old. Have you heard of it? Oh my god! And it seems like it's completely about something else, and these people all go on vacation, and eventually you find out they all have something wrong with them.
Oh.
Whether it's like a mental illness or like a physical problem or just there's something wrong with each of them, and they all are on this beach, and every time they try to leave this beach, it's like they pass out. They literally, it's like they can't.
Oh wow.
And so when they arrive, there's this guy who's already there, and he was with a lady, and she disappeared. She winds up dead, and there's all this shit. And as they're on the beach, they're aging. Like, I mean, an hour is like, I can't remember the exact math, but I mean, they're aging fast. They would go through their entire life, like, in a day.
So it's the opposite of Lost.
Lost was great, though, right?
It was.
Fight Club's my number 3.
Yes, Fight Club.
Classic. Parasite. My number 4. Sweet. And
yes,
I don't know. I think it's a pretty classic horror movie. I'm a big like slasher horror movie. I like the old school slasher, so I'm going with Scream.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah.
I just saw the new
It was okay.
The new one that was it the new Scream?
Yeah, I think it's just called Scream. I think they're just rebranding it.
Oh, yeah.
But it's like, what, the 5th one now? Right?
Yeah, different actor. Yeah, that was crazy.
It's weird because it's called Scream, but it is a continuation because it has the same people. Those events still
Next
happen,
Generation.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, it's the Scream the Next Gen.
All right, you want to do...
Is it 30 years or something later or something like that? Or
it's been a while.
40 years, I think. It was 40 years later or something like that.
Oh, in the movie, you mean?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Scream. Oh, yeah, it's the movie. Yeah, not that one.
Chili Pepper songs?
Okay.
Do you want to go or I can start?
Sure.
All right. Oh, wait. Are you starting or am I starting?
You can start.
Okay. Okay. So, number 1, I feel like my girlfriend kind of made fun of me unless she's a huge Chili Pepper fan. We're going to see them later this year.
Oh, amazing!
Right? They're coming. Have you heard their new song? They got I think they actually just dropped the second
something.
No, Black Summer, I think it's called. The new.
Oh, there's 2 new songs.
There is, yeah.
Black Summer and yeah,
and the other one just like came out like 2 days ago or something like that.
Yep.
I can't remember what it's called, but yeah. Anyways, so Californication is my number 1.
Oh, that's an amazing song.
Yeah, I mean it's they're probably their biggest hit, but I still think it's
solid.
It's my favorite song.
Yeah.
I can't lie.
I still sing it every freaking time I hear it. You sing right on top of them. Who cares if they're great? Yeah.
Brandon's Death Song.
Oh.
Do you know that one?
Nope.
Oh, it's so good. It was a song that I kept hearing a lot, and I loved it, and I always forgot the name of the song. And so I was doing this, and I was like,
I'm surprised.
It's like, babe, what's this song called?
How does it go?
But it's a really, really solid tune. Number 3 for me is Dark Necessities.
Oh, that's such a good song, yeah.
Solid song.
Yeah.
The thing I like about the Chili Peppers too is like when this song came out, I was working with this young kid who's probably like 16. Mm-hmm. And we were talking about... Actually, no, it was after it came out. It didn't just come out, but we were talking about the song after it played, and he was just saying how he like loved the Chili Peppers, and I was just... It blew my mind because you have people that are like, 50, 60 years old that love the Chili Peppers. Mm-hmm. And there's like all these different eras of Chili Peppers, but like they have a way of like transcending like generations.
Yeah.
Is that the right term that I'm trying to come up with?
Yes.
And they're never gonna die.
Yeah.
They're never gonna die.
Yeah.
I love Flea. I think he's the best one of the best bassists of all time.
Yeah.
Super interesting person.
Yeah. They started out as little punk rockers too.
Yeah, it's weird. It's weird. Anthony didn't even sing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they've definitely come a long way.
I was reading his autobiography. Oh my god. Scar Tissue.
My girlfriend has it.
Yeah.
I haven't read it though.
Oh, it's a wild story. Yeah.
She has a couple Flea books too.
His dad was his first.
They're all interesting people though. Every person in that band is like.
Yeah, they all have a very John Frusciante, like, oh my god, I feel.
And now he's back.
He's back.
That's dope.
That's amazing. He's
All right,
best
what did I
guitars.
say? Okay, Give It Away is my number 4.
Yeah.
And then the Zephyr song.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
The Zephyr song is on my list too.
Nice.
So it's
Nice.
Give It Away. And yeah, Zephyr song, as I said, ironically enough, it grounds me. That's why I like it.
It's a good tune.
It is. It's amazing. Fly away, oh my Zephyr. Yeah. And so that's one of my karaoke tunes too.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
My go-to's Dick in a Box. Dude, I'm not talking about, like, I like to do it with other people, but I mean, as a I like to, like, when I was saying I was in bands and stuff, a little dabbled into music, like, I have a somewhat of a decent voice. I have somewhat of range, and I always love hitting those Justin Timberlake parts in Dick in a Box. You know what I mean? It's just a fun song to do at karaoke. I don't really need to look at the lyrics. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So.
That's funny. And then yeah, Give It Away is one of them as well. And I especially actually oddly enough, like that collab with Bruno Mars at this 2016 Super Bowl. And that's actually brought that song back for me, because I kind of started getting sick of it, right? But at the same time, it's always been a great song. It's just like lyrically everything. It's amazing. And then Aeroplane.
Yeah.
What's better than a song that talks about how uplifting music is? Right? It's like, wow, it's music about music. And then yeah, pretty meta. And then Knock Me Down. That's another one. Memories of Street Life. Hey Oh Snow, because it reminds me of my late dog.
Too. That's a good one.
Yeah, such a good. It reminds me of my late dog Poopy Bear. And there's another song from that same album, Death of a Martian. It reminds me so much of him, because it's about a death of his friend's dog. And yeah, when dog died, I listened to that over and over and over and over. Yeah. And then it's just because it talks about how amazing friends your dog is. And
Dogs are good people.
They are. They're the best. They're better than most people.
That's for real.
And then, and 30 Dirty Birds. Wait, is that 5 or 6? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
I can't count.
That's fine.
That's 30 Dirty Birds, because it's short,
Really
like
not
my
a big
attention span, and I like
I've
to
had
sing
people
along.
put like 10 in before.
10 in
Be
the
like,
top
man,
five.
it's a top 5.
Yeah.
It's like, all right, I'm going to tell you like my top 3 from every album.
Yeah, I was gonna say
what?
each
all
Chili
good.
Peppers
Honestly,
album.
I don't mind.
I've got most of their albums, but that's still a lot of albums.
They have a lot of it, yeah.
They do more than like a dozen or and then because yeah, 30 Dirty Birds has the best lyrics though.
Okay.
Have you heard them?
I kind of remember the melody, but I don't remember all the lyrics.
Okay, so there's no melody really. It's like just like doity boys was sitting on a coib, choiping and boiping and eating doity oithworms. Or is it boiping and choiping and eating doity oithworms? Along came Oiby from doity and saw the doity boys choiping and boiping and eating the doity earthworms. Boy, was he destroyed. Something like that. I don't know.
What album is that from?
Freaky
That's
Styling, probably.
early on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
probably a Hillel time, but there's no actual music to it. It's just Anthony just riffing. So those are my top 5, 6.
Okay, now I want to do female comedians, but I want to ask you something because in no way. Okay, I'll just get to it.
I have
female
2.
comedians, like saying female. Like when I was telling my girlfriend that I'm doing female comedians, like her initial thing was like, "Well, like why female? Do you think it's disrespectful as a female comedian for me, like?" Obviously, female comedians are just comedians too. But the reason this is a separate category is because when I think about it, like I might have 1 female comedian in my top 10.
But that's true. Yeah, I know what
you know,
exactly
and I don't
what you
want to like be like, oh, she's my 10th favorite comedian. I think it sounds better in my mind. It does anyway. But I'm a man. That if I say, oh, she's like my first or my favorite female comedian, my second favorite female comedian, I think that sounds better than like, oh, my 10th favorite comedian.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's why I say that. But like as a female comedian, are you angry when people say that?
No. Maybe
Okay.
30 years down the road we will be having a different discussion, but right now it's like it's necessary. A female, non-binary, and trans comedians, they do need more platform, right? And the fact that you asked it is great because then I get to kind of focus on that. I mean, I could have listed, I could have just mixed it all up and brought you know, this guy. I could have thrown Cat Williams in here, but but
especially early on,
you know what I mean?
Cat Williams was like
but
unstoppable
right?
for like years.
But I appreciated that you actually kind of thought to kind of just create a list of women to focus on that. I think that's necessary. The more platform we can give to people that don't already have, like, the comedy scene here is rooted as a white male centric scene, and everybody else around it is kind of feels like we're infiltrating or around it, right? So now I appreciate that comedy is just everybody's been accepted, no matter what gender they are, no matter what race they are. But sometimes you do have to highlight the people who haven't gotten those platforms traditionally in order to balance things out. You gotta tip a scale to balance it.
I totally get it.
Yeah, that makes absolute sense to me.
So who are you going with?
I made 2 lists.
2 lists. So what are your 2? See,
so,
this is,
right?
So what are we talking about? Are we doing local females?
Yes, local and celebs.
Okay, all right.
So what should I start with?
Locals. I always try to avoid locals because
I know, because you don't want to leave anyone out.
Yeah. So, but men,
there's so many.
I'm curious.
I had to cut out. So I even had to cut out number 6, and this person is a friend of mine. You know what I mean? Like, so that's.
And we're doing locals first.
Okay, locals first.
All
right. So local, Salma Hindi. But she defected to New York City. You defected! And but we love you. She did her show in November, so I was grateful for that. Jen Sacato, she also did her show in December. And Hodo Hersey.
She's good.
She did the Halloween show. And Tamara Siobhan.
She's good too.
Yeah, she did one of our shows as well. And Alva, I'm trying to get on.
I've never
I
seen Alva.
Oh my gosh!
Obviously, I know.
just saw clips, right? And stuff, and from shows. And so funny. Just cracks me up, just like balls out laughing. I mean, excuse the terminology, but yeah. It's just, oh my God, I'm just like, blah, ugly laugh, you know? Because, I don't know, I just appreciate comedians who just say it the way it is. You know what I mean?
I think the only true thing that any comedian can really bring to the table that nobody else can is who they are. Mm-hmm. For real. And it's not easy to find that voice.
Yeah.
You know, and really find a way to, like, let your true self peek in through the jokes. You know, and actually, especially when you're doing shorter sets, to, like, really get an audience to you know, learn who you are and, like, just kind of take in the actual person so they can understand maybe your subtleties and things like that. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, I just love anytime anyone's just unforgiving, just themselves. Just being themselves, don't really care. That's what I love.
Yep. And, for sure.
Doesn't work out for everybody, but hey, at the end of the day, at least you can hold your head high and you don't have to, you're not pretending.
That's true.
You know?
And then another one I wanted to put in there, but she's passed away just a couple months ago. She's very recently, Candy Palmatier. She is an amazing Indigenous comedian that, unfortunately I'll never meet her either. I messaged her to try to get her on our show. She was working with some, it was a CBC or some comedy shows. Comedy on TV. And she was just starting to get really, really successful. And then, unfortunately, her health... succumbed to her health issues. But yes, very funny woman.
All right, so non-locals.
Okay, so
what are we doing?
Celebs. Okay, so non-local. My number 1 is always going to be Margaret Cho. Because since I was, like, she's not that much older than me, but still, like, it seems like she's been a grown-up since I was a kid, and maybe she's younger than me, I don't even know. But you know what I mean? Yeah. She's just goat. She's just, my God.
And she didn't make mine, but I do enjoy it. I do.
But her act outs on stage, like, if you see her Asian chicken salad, that's my favorite of everything that she's ever done, is just watching her be like, what did this person think I was gonna do? Like, turn into this monster and just like, this is not the salad of my people. But she does this, like, she extends this act out to, like, huge, like a few minutes long. I don't know, anyway. Tiffany Haddish, number 2. Well, and I'm saying number 2, but these are not in order. These are all...
That's fine.
Yeah. Wanda Sykes.
She almost made my list,
too. She's so good.
I didn't really enjoy her last one, though. I like older school Wanda Sykes. Right. I think she's super witty.
Yeah, her show was the bomb, too. Yeah, I don't know whatever happened to it, but she should... Yeah, that was amazing. So I do love some Wanda Sykes. I just love her point of view on everything. It's just crazy. And just the way she expresses it is just hilarious. I cry. Dulce Sloan, she's also on The Daily Show. Oh my God. She's hilarious. Ali Wong. Mm-hmm. Oh my God. Ali Wong. I just saw her 3rd special.
I haven't seen it yet.
Oh. Yeah.
She's finally not pregnant.
Yes. And so she gets down and dirty. Oh my gosh.
She's solid.
She says the shit that nobody else is, like, we're all afraid to even think, she says. It's amazing. So, yes, Ali Wong.
Was that 5?
Yeah, that was 5.
That wasn't counting. All right.
Yeah.
All right. So, let's see. I'm starting with Whitney Cummings.
Oh.
Okay. And not just, like, stand-up. Like, she's also a really good writer. She has her hands in, had her hands in, I think, a few shows. I don't know if she's doing anything now, but I was a big fan of Two Broke Girls as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
Then I'm going with Maya Rudolph, who is not necessarily a stand-up comedian.
She's so good.
But fuck, man.
I wish she was.
When do you see her and she's not funny? When? Honestly.
Yeah, sweater weather.
She's so funny. I would love... Yes, sweater weather.
Sweater weather.
But, I mean, there was quite a few really good females on Saturday Night Live in a certain era, and she was part of that, and she was, like, at the top.
Yeah, she's there.
But also, like, Amy Poehler and Tina Fey.
Tina Fey's
also really funny.
Best, yes.
Okay, so then I'm going with Adriana Appalucci.
Oh.
You might not know who she is. Okay. Really, really check this out. Honestly, it's super short, too. Okay. It's like 20 minutes.
How do you spell that?
Oh, fuck. I'll send you a link. Don't even worry. I'll send you because her last name is weird. It's Appalucci, but it starts with an I. Mm-hmm. So it's really... I didn't even know how to say her name before this. I actually had to, like, watch Degenerates again just to make sure how to say her name. But, 15-20 minutes. It's just a really solid set, really coming from a different angle than a lot of other female comedians, and that's what I like. Even though I don't necessarily agree with everything. I mean, at the end of the day, they're jokes. She's trying to make people laugh, and she does a good job.
Amazing.
Then I'm going with Sarah Silverman.
Mm-hmm.
And then, so this was hard. This was really hard for me. And yes, I'm a huge Wanda Sykes fan. I also was really big on Lisa Lampanelli back in the day. But, like, I'm not into, like, a lot of their newer stuff. Also, Kristen Schaal, but I've only ever seen one thing, and it was a while ago, so I do think she's really fun. I want to give those people honorable mentions, but Jenny Slate, I think she's doing good, and she's on the up and up. Have you ever seen Parks and Rec?
Yeah.
She was,
I've only seen a couple episodes, so.
Oh, fuck, what was his name? God damn it, this is horrible. I fucking love Parks and Rec. Anyways, she was on Parks and Rec. That's where I discovered her.
The only character I remember is, Korean guy.
Korean guy in Parks and Rec?
No, not Korean guy. No, not Korean guy.
Is it Aziz?
Sorry, no, I was thinking of Arrested Development. That's a completely...
Parks and Rec, I haven't seen that.
No, Parks and Rec is a totally different...
Parks and Rec's Amy Poehler and...
sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
All right, yeah, so that's...
different.
That's me.
Yeah.
And then we'll end on superheroes.
Oh yeah, superheroes. Yes.
Hey, I'll go first.
Okay.
I don't mind a lot. I'll just kind of go through them a little quick. Batman is number 1.
Sweet.
Ninja Turtles are my number 2.
Woo.
Red Hood, 3. Arsenal, 4. Is Spider-Man number 5.
Oh wow, nice.
Honorable mention to this guy who, when I was like in grade 2, he got my toe out of an exercise bike. Like I lived in an apartment building, and I went down to the exercise room, and I just had socks on. And then when I was biking on the stationary bike, my sock got caught in the chain, and it pulled my toe in. So like halfway around, like the pedals stop, and like my foot's stuck. Like it has the spikes in it, trapped, wedged in between the chain and it. And I was in there by myself.
Oh my god.
And I was like, ah! And this guy like rushed in. He was like, Jack, shit. He fucking like broke the chain, and he brought me up to like my like the 14th floor where I was living.
Wow.
Yeah. So
it's amazing. That's your superhero. Number 6.
I did call him Superman for a bit.
Oh wow.
That's what I called him. Yeah.
Yeah. That's amazing.
What about you?
I got like literally 5 Marvel women.
Do it.
Or maybe 6.
Do it. Love it.
Psylocke.
Number 1?
Well, I don't have them in order.
Okay. All right.
Storm.
Okay.
Jubilee. These are all X-Men. Jubilee.
Really?
Yeah.
Nice.
Except for one.
Okay.
Jean Grey.
Yeah.
And Wonder Woman.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah, but
Wonder
then I
Woman's
got
in
an
there.
honorable mention, Rogue. That's my dog's name.
Okay.
So yeah.
That's cool.
So yeah, I feel.
Is it
like,
actually after the X-Men, or is it just because it's a cool name?
My sister named her. She came to our house, and my sister looked in her little carry crate that she came in, and she says, "You look like a rogue." And then we discovered, and her personality suits it too. Yeah, she used to do her own thing, you know.
What kind of dog?
She's a Shih Tzu.
Okay.
Yeah, but she has kind of like red patches and orange patches, so she's awesome. Yeah, her name is Rogue Dog. She's a little sassy bitch, but I love her. So those are my 5.
That's it.
Those are my literal 5 superheroes.
That's good though. I love X-Men.
Oh yeah, I used to read a lot of X-Men, but I always tried to read the the books with those characters, and also like Tank Girl was one of my favorites as well at the time.
All right. I've only ever seen the movie.
No, I used to read the books. Yeah, I still have one. I was like, I have like, really like a small. I don't know how I have ended up with like these specific books only, but like I had a whole collection. I gave them all away, and for some reason I still have a few.
Tank Girl?
Yeah, there's the Tank Girl, the one where she's pregnant with Booga's baby, and which is kind of fucking weird. But yeah, and yeah, and then when I see Booga, I'm thinking Ice-T, right? Because of the movie. Yeah, so like it's amazing. That was a good one. Oh, and then another honorable mention has to go to Hothead Paisan, Homicidal Lesbian Terrorist.
Okay,
That's a 90s comic book anthology. Well, it's a series, and then I actually ended up with the anthology. It's like when I was hanging out in the LGBTQ circles when they were more segregated from other circles. Now it's like I hang out with like a lot of different people, but back in the day, like I was trying to find my identity. And as a queer person, I didn't know where I fit in, so I hung out with gay people, so that because I didn't feel comfortable around the straight people, right? Okay. So like it's like it was really hard to find a mixed scene, except for in like alternative music or punk or something you could find sort of, But other than that, it was hard. So yeah, I discovered that there, and of course I trailed off.
It's all right.
Yeah.
I guess we'll wrap her up.
Yeah.
You can let these people know where to get at you if you want to.
And we have a show coming up. Should I plug my show?
Do it.
Okay.
Send me the poster.
Okay, I will do. March 11th, Friday, March 11th. Gerald Young and I are once again producing the Wretched Hive of Fun and Comedy. We are at episode 7, I believe, or we had 8. I don't even know how many episodes we're at now.
Where are you doing them?
August, September, October, November, December, January, February, March. We're at episode 8. It's at Seascape, 347 Keel Street, just at Keel and Dundas. So it's just 4 stops north of Keel Station or Dundas West Station. And let's see, yeah, it's owned by a really good friend of mine, Sarah, who's a big sci-fi and gaming nerd, and she has created this space so that people who are also interested can have a space to hang out and
come to the next one. That seems like
yeah. I mean, me and my guy were just talking about Snowpiercer, and then this dude that's sitting down at the bar is like, Snowpiercer, and then we ended up having these so it's
I
one
love
of those,
that when
you go to a place, you know that there's gonna be somebody who knows what you're talking about. It's amazing. So yeah, and they have a beautiful venue upstairs. And so we're going to have a magician, a Ken Pham. He's headlining the show. And so he'll be doing some comical magic. And then we have a bunch of... can I tell you who's going to be on it?
You can absolutely tell me who's going to be on it.
Okay. So... Did I even post it yet? I don't even think I posted it on here yet. Oh my God.
Well, here's the thing. When is that? When is it?
Friday, March 11th.
So,
yeah, we got...
This is probably going to come out after that.
Oh, that's okay then. Then don't,
I just realized that.
Yeah, then like,
oh yeah, by the way.
Okay, so...
This doesn't matter. What's the next one?
Okay, so yeah. So we've got... Okay. The next one is in April. It's April 8th with Adonis Charlie. Adonis is headlining our show.
All right, we fixed it.
Yeah,
saved it at the last minute.
At Seascape, 347 Keel Street, just 4 bus stops north of Keel Station. All right, and there's parking if you're driving. There's plenty of parking. So, yeah. That's
always a problem.
Yeah, 9 p.m. Yeah, that's
all messages like, yo, where can I park? Mm-hmm. I don't even drive, guys. I don't know. I'm sorry.
I know. This is true.
All right, well, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
Like always, this podcast is brought to you by Neon Light District. Hit them up. Use code PillowTalk to save 10%. And by The Great North Apparel. Hit them up. Use code PillowTalk to save 30%. Go get your tickets to the monthly show. Go get your tickets to Laughateria. And we'll see you in 2 weeks, guys. Peace the fuck out.